Welcome back to the network. This is Nathan. For episode 10, I am flanked by Trevor and Easton. Cade's not here. He's got a disease.
He's not feeling well. Not feeling well.
So instead of Caden doing our weekly recap, we're going to Easton for a quick recap.
I'm going to take Caden's job here and go with the recap. First, I'm going to start off with Cassius Marsh's taunting call. Absolutely. Oh, it was terrible. It's a terrible call.
I think it's a 50-50 good call.
You think it's a 50-50?
I put it this way. Rules, correct call. Do I think the rule should be changed?
Yes. I mean, shoot. It takes all the fun out of the game. Like, how fun is it seeing, like, a guy get a humongous sack, a huge sack for your team to make them win the game, and then they're jumping up and down, they're excited, and then you just see a yellow laundry on the field just getting laid out there, and it's just so bad to see.
I think, on the contrary, though, I think you can still have fun without being sad.
On the field? I mean, you could do it on the sidelines, but that's just how football's been.
Nathan, because, football is their work. Like, that's what they're going to work, and it's a professional setting. You don't go, say you're working in a business and everything, you don't go and show your bad side when you do something good at a business. So when you're playing on the field and everything, you have to be professional on the field, no matter what it is.
Would you agree with it? So would you agree with the taunting call then?
I mean, the only thing I would say would have been bad was it looked like he was deliberately looking at the sideline. But if there was anything said or not said, I don't think anything was said. I think he was just looking at the sideline.
I think the NFL is on a tighter leash now, and I do not like it.
They are.
He just looked on.
Look at it this way, though. His coach was pissed
at
the player.
Yeah.
So that means he did something, because not only was the flag thrown, that means it was something worthwhile for his coach to be pissed at him for.
Yeah. But, I mean, he probably didn't see the replay where he just looked at him and didn't say a single thing and then accidentally bumped into the ref.
But if he did say something, then the coach was...
But it's like I said, you're coming into the game, you know what the rules are, you got to act professional.
And you got to remember, gesturing and body language counts towards that.
Which is unbelievable.
To think
about.
It's kind of like how I'm really surprised there wasn't a taunting call called at the A-State game when one of the App State players got the touchdown and he took our Wolves up and did it upside down.
Okay, that's a Longhorns thing. He should not be able to do that. I'm pissed.
But they made that illegal to do in those games. They said those would be counted as taunting calls.
Oh, I'm going to continue to do hook'em horns.
You don't remember, like, the longest time, like they said the doing the horns upside down.
I think on the game at the game.
West Virginia a couple years ago beat them like on a last second touchdown and went up to the student section, was like, horns down right to them.
At that point, that's after the game.
Yeah. But yeah, so the next thing can I move on or?
Yeah, go.
Okay, so the next thing is kind of a dirty play by Mac Jones to Brian Burns. Whenever he got sacked, he was going for the ball and he got his leg pulled, and then after he unnecessarily twisted his ankle that prompted him to leave the game. I look back at that clip and I'm like, I'm looking closer and I'm like, dang, that's a dirty play.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, and they make all these rules to protect the quarterback and everything.
Exactly.
If anything, it should have been called a holding.
I wouldn't call it holding. It would have been
unnecessary roughness.
Yeah, it would have been unnecessary roughness on the quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be hard to determine on the field if that was malicious or not, because he could just be turning his body to try to pull him back in a certain way, not meaning to actually contort him in a bad way.
But, I mean, shoot, like, if you're trying to hold someone back, you would think they would just hold their legs, not, like, twist their leg.
You gotta remember, you're also on the ground being pulled by that person, too.
But anyways,
it's hard to look.
Back at my point, I just think it's funny that they have all these rules in place to protect the quarterback, but then the quarterback can go out and do that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
I don't think it was ever seen on the field. I don't think they ever.
I don't think it was either.
Now, does this hurt Mac Jones's, like, chances to win Rookie of the Year?
No.
If this is looked at a dirty play, do you think it will?
If it was called on the field, maybe. Mm-hmm. But since it wasn't called, there definitely was probably something there that the refs were like, "Hey, let's just play it out."
Yeah.
if it was called on the field, I definitely see it. But since there was nothing called on the field, they're probably just letting it play out. I mean, I'm sure, usually when calls like that are played out, the entire game they're letting things go.
I mean, you see many holding calls in general get missed when fumbles.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like,
or a lot of times holding calls are really determined based off who has possession, and if possession's up in the air, a lot of times stuff's.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily it was called a holding call. I mean, if I was a ref and called it, I would have sent unnecessary roughness. But it's one of those things. You come into a game, the refs are going to call a game one way or the other, and if they're going to let some things pass, then something like that's going to get passed. But if they're calling the game tight, that might have been called differently with different refs.
Yeah, I like Trevor's
especially
point.
if it had even been seen in the first place.
Yeah. So since it wasn't called, I don't see it hurting his rookie of the year. I think he's personally still the top guy to get rookie of the year just because he's been the best one out there. Now, on the defense side, I don't know if anybody would outdo Mac Jones, but just quarterback-wise, Mac Jones has definitely outperformed any other rookie quarterback, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. Yes, of course. And then the next thing is kind of goes up to my next topic after this is can the Saints keep their grasp to make the playoffs without Jameis Winston? Because what I just saw, the Saints. I mean, they were down 24-6. And then the Falcons in Falcons fashion almost just gave up their lead.
Well, I mean, the Saints came back.
Yeah.
But the Falcons just.
But Matty Ice got the ice in his veins.
It's one of those things. I was very baffled when they put Trevor Siemian in?
Yeah.
And not Taysom Hill.
Oh yeah.
Taysom Hill was it last year? Played 5 games. Without Drew Brees. It went 5-0.
Exactly.
And I'm like, why don't you guys have him out there? He's been with the team longer. He knows the players better. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you throw Trevor Siemian out there.
Yeah, and in a game that you need to win against Atlanta.
This is one of those things I would love to hear the decisions made on the field. Because we don't know if Hill was like, yeah, let him go out there.
True. Yeah.
He might be saying, hey, we know I can finish the season out. Let's get him experience. Why it doesn't matter as much.
Because Trevor Siemian did beat the Buccaneers. Jameis Winston went out, first quarter and then played the rest, I feel like.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so I think they looked at that and thought, like, this guy can compete against the Falcons.
Now, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Hill next week.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Because those are games you need.
I wouldn't be surprised to see either one of them.
Because those are games you need to win against the Falcons. And then the next one we got is upsets in the NFL. And there were a ton.
This brings up the one topic I want to talk about, and it sucks that Caden's not here. But I think just
imagine
this, Caden, this F-overs Dak Prescott's chance to get comeback player of the year.
You think
but,
this
again, was it Cincinnati lost too?
Joe Burrow too. Yeah. So
I mean, if you ask me, those are the 2 players that would be candidates for comeback player of the year, and they both lost this week.
Yeah,
but Burrow looked better in his loss than Dak did in his loss.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so because Burrow had like.
He actually
I don't think
stats up.
I haven't seen his stats.
Joe Burrow went for 28 for 40, 200. Yeah, I mean he looked decent out there.
Average quarterback stats.
That's average quarterback.
But I don't know what Dak Prescott was looking at. It looked like he was playing 12th grade. I mean, 12-year-old peewee ball out there.
He thought the orange jerseys were his team.
Yeah, true. But
did he throw a pick?
I think he had a pick.
He had 3?
He had 2 interceptions. Yeah, he had 2 interceptions.
I could have swore that Dak had 3 interceptions.
No, he had 1.
Apparently only had 1.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I thought I saw him get picked.
Yeah, he had 1 interception. But yeah, Joe Burrow, you're right. Joe Burrow did play better than Dak against a Broncos team who was a big question mark too. I think this.
Well, this also proved a point of mine from last week that's saying that one good defensive player or just one good player in general cannot define who your team is.
The funny part is that if you watch the game in Dallas, Dak Prescott was having the most trouble against their secondary.
Yeah.
Because even on the first throw, I can't remember exactly who he was throwing it to, but he clearly did not see.
I think it was CeeDee Lamb.
I think it was CeeDee Lamb, but he clearly did not see the safety coming down to help. Mm-hmm. And it looked like at the last second he saw it and pulled the pass short. Usually you see Dak Prescott hitting these on the run, putting it right in the spot where his receiver's the only one who could make a play on the ball. But it seemed like in this game he was like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah,
there's there's no open spot. He just kind of threw up to make sure.
I'll be honest with you, I'm surprised the backup didn't play this game.
I mean, shoot.
The announcers, one of the announcers I heard said you can't expect someone who hasn't practiced for 2 weeks to come back the day before the game and not practice at all and do well.
He was dealing with a calf injury, and he told the reporters that it had nothing to do with this game. But
I bet it does.
I bet he was just saying that.
Deep down, I think it did.
It's like Lane Hatcher right now. Ever since he got tackled by that horse collar and he got up and limped away from that tackle, he has not been making the deep throws, nor has he been able to move around the pocket like he had before that tackle.
Yeah, I can agree with that. But anything A-State, I have to zip.
Anytime you get injured, and even if it's a small injury, there's going to be things that you can't do normally because in a way it's still going to hurt you, or you're scared to do it because you think it's going to hurt. So you're mentally going to change the way you're going to do something. And I think that's what Dak was doing this game. He was scared of re-injuring this injury he already had.
Exactly.
And that's why his throws didn't look good, because he didn't want to go 100% and put all the pressure on that calf to potentially re-injure it.
But yeah, the other upset that we're kind of not talking about is the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh my gosh.
Got their first...
Josh Allen, kill Josh Allen.
Yeah, the Jacksonville Jaguars got their first win in the United States in 420 days. I'm not making that up. That's a statistical fact. They won in Europe, but they couldn't win in the United States. So they
were the best team in England.
Yeah, they were. Yeah. So they beat Josh Allen and the Bills, which
people thought the Bills would be the favorites to win the Super Bowl this year, and the Bills, as of right now, have had the best offense.
I know
until this week,
and they've had these games where it's just like, what are they doing? Like they had that game against Miami where it was tied to the fourth quarter.
It definitely does seem like the Bills play the first half not as aggressive as they do in the second half, and it seems like they go out there, see what the defense is giving them, and then make changes there in the half, which all teams do that, I know. But it just seems like the way the Bills are doing it's worked, but it's kind of biting them in the butt now, especially with this Jags team. It looked like, this is going to be an easy game. Let's just kind of go out here.
And just play nonchalant.
Yeah, and not play aggressive, just, get the win and everything. And then when they go in the locker room, which I think it was tied 6-6 going to the locker room at halftime, right? They come back out and you're like, okay, this team's actually,
they're trying to win
this
game.
They're actually playing aggressive and everything. So we try to change our scheme and actually play.
The game that I was talking about was the Steelers. Against the Steelers in the beginning of the year. Where there was just like, Josh Allen threw the ball 51 times and he completed it 30 times. That's just insane. But yeah, that ends the recap. So, Nathan, what we got first?
You have the Titans, a scary team going from here on out. And I would agree, yes, and I called it from the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, Caden said that the Titans were the underperforming team, but it's just crazy how they keep on winning without Derrick Henry.
It seems like they win the big games when they're not supposed to, and lose the small games when they're supposed to.
Well, did you hear the big news, or did you see the big news as to what came up with that? Or the outcome of that? Did you see who they had running for them?
Oh,
Adrian Peterson.
The 38-year-old grandpa ran out there and got a touchdown.
And he was looking better than
I can't.
Henry there for a little bit.
I won't agree with that, but
no, he was looking good.
If you ask me, when you have a team that
he was having fun.
Yeah, he definitely was having fun. I mean, anybody who's played for 18 years, it seemed like.
He dressed up as Donatello on Twitter and said, "I'm gonna save the day." Like,
but
seriously.
Any team that is run heavy, their O-line is always going to make these gaping holes every once in a while during the game.
Yeah.
The only reason the Titans seem like they're really good is because, you have like a 200-something guy running the football. But when you have a run-heavy offense, you can throw anybody in the backfield, and they're going to have a good run at least once or twice during the game because that's just the way the offense is run.
Yeah, but what is crazy is that they got Aaron Donald on the other side of the field, and he was nowhere to be found on that game.
Yeah.
But it begs the question: once Von Miller gets to the Rams, do you think he'll make that big impact?
I would say yes and no. I think teams are definitely gonna.
You're gonna have to watch him more, but it's not gonna be like a light switch.
Yeah, I don't think the second you throw him out there, it's gonna be like, the Rams defense is the best we've seen in years.
Because he's also gonna have to acclimate to his spot on the field.
Oh yeah, it's going to take him a few weeks. I feel like.
Well, he's going to have to learn he's not going to be the best person out there, which he was kind of used to at the Broncos because
it's kind of like when Richard Sherman went to the Bucs. They thought okay, we picked this guy up because we have nobody in our secondary who's good.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, a lot of people were thinking when he showed up, it was going to be a light switch. Oh, our secondary is going to be amazing. But he hardly did anything for that defense that game because the defense he came from, he had a lot of freedom.
Well, you got to remember, he came from the 49ers.
Well, even before that, like from how he was playing with the Seahawks.
Now, granted, I will say the way he played at the 49ers was kind of the same he played at the Seahawks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they let him have a lot of freedom.
He was more of a, I'm going to direct him to go this way if you help me. He's not a one-on-one type of defender.
Right.
But, and then, so the Titans coming up, do you think they're going to be a 1 seed?
I don't believe they'll be, like, you talking about getting the bye?
Do you think they will get the bye?
I don't believe so.
Because I'm looking at their schedule. They play the Saints, which that game
that can go either way.
That can go either way. The Texans, the Patriots, which that game could go either way because Mac Jones is looking pretty good on the Patriots. Then they got the Jags, the Steelers, the 49ers, the Dolphins,
I can see
the Texans.
going either way.
I can too. But so do you see them?
The Steelers have been looking good.
Yeah, but shoot, they barely beat the Bears.
But the Bears are actually starting to click now.
Oh yeah, with Justin Fields.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I could see him as
another really good game. The Browns.
The Browns and Bengals?
The Browns destroyed the Bengals.
Oh, yeah.
They disrespected them.
Oh, yeah, at their own home field, too.
That was...
Well, let's wrap this up, and then we'll talk about OBJ make teams worse.
Yeah. Okay.
So, with me, I think Tennessee will be a good team this year.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, even without Derrick Henry, because you got Adrian Peterson back there, the GOAT of all running backs. But, I mean, they still have their weapons. They still have Julio Jones and A.J. Brown. Ryan Tannehill, not the best quarterback, but he can make the throws.
He's still fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, if you ask me, Tennessee is actually a fun team to watch because they do have all those. It's just they have their wide receiver weapons, and then they used to have the running back weapons, but
they have a lot of slightly above average players. None of them are like superstars, if you ask me.
Julio Jones? What do you mean?
On the Titans.
Yeah, Julio Jones was that superstar back then, but
not right now.
Yeah, he's kind of downgraded a little bit.
Tons of just slightly above average players. And
I would say
really good team.
I would say raw talent.
Yeah.
Raw, yeah.
I mean, no one who's just exploded in last year.
Yeah.
But yeah, so next the Bengals and Browns.
So yeah, look up the score for the Bengals.
Oh yeah, no, it's I mean the
Bengals. Like 2 or 3 pick sixes, didn't they?
One was 4 touchdowns, so they had 1 pick six, and it was the final score was 41-16 at the Bengals' home. Yeah. So if I paid for a ticket for that game, I'd be, hey, can I get my money back, please? But yeah, that was disgusting.
What was Mayfield's completion?
He went 14 for 21, 218 yards. Not even that big of a game, but
that's a lot of yards for only 14 passes.
I mean, yeah, it is, but like Nick Chubb was the person that just destroyed them. 14 carries for 137 yards. That is 9 yards per carry. That is insane, and that makes you wonder: is the Bengals' defensive linemen they're just not
Mayfield almost had
exposed?
That's almost 15 yards per pass too.
Is that? It's 10.
I mean, so pretty much sure if Baker's throwing it or Chubb's running it, they're getting a first down each play.
Yeah.
And then Nick Chubb had a 70-yard touchdown run.
Yeah.
that is if you have him in fantasy, I'm happy.
Mayfield's touchdowns
was a deep bomb to Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Yeah, that was the one we saw.
That was pretty.
The most beautiful touchdown pass in the NFL I've seen in a bit.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, they're up at the surface, like they're kind of drowning, but they're like at the surface, just gasping for air.
Well, I think the biggest question is, does OBJ make teams worse?
Yes, and if the Raiders pick up the OBJ, I will be happy because that team will go down. And yeah, so
has his do we know if his waiver claims is coming?
So OBJ has officially entered in the waiver claims. I think he can be picked up tomorrow. He's going to be able to be picked up.
Okay.
And the Lions have the number 1 waiver spot. And they've already said, head coach has said, we're not looking for him. We're not going to get him.
I saw something, Pete Carroll was asked the question if they would pick up OBJ, and he said, the only thing he said was, we'll see.
I don't think, dude, OBJ If he goes to a team like Seattle with these high
Lockett and Metcalf.
Exactly. I think
he gonna be.
Yeah, he's just gonna be a guy standing there. I feel like
it's just gonna hurt your fantasy if he does get thrown.
Oh yeah, it's gonna hurt everybody's fantasy. But I feel like the best spot for OBJ would be the Raiders because they just lost their best wide receiver, and who knows if
they're looking for someone to replace that spot. And
exactly.
If you ask me, I wouldn't want Odell on my team. I just feel like he's not good in the locker room and outside the sport. Mm-hmm. But if you're looking for someone who can take the spot
by himself.
Yeah. And I definitely do think he needs to go to a team where he believes he would be the best wide receiver. Because I think when he came to Cleveland, he was thinking, I'm going to be this big shot. Everyone was going to want me to be on the field and everything.
I remember.
But Jarvis Landry was already that guy.
I remember saying this his first season. I never cared for him because I don't care how good of a player you are. If you're, I don't support you. Yeah. And he's always been that hot shot, and he's never come down from that.
Exactly, which sucks because
he had a great first season.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh yeah.
But he never humbled himself.
But which is sad to see because OBJ has that talent. He has that talent. He has that potential.
Now I do definitely see if he does go to the Raiders, Derek Carr is that quarterback that can humble his players,
or just ignore him and just use him.
I don't think.
Derek Carr. If Derek Carr doesn't like someone, he's not gonna play.
Well, true.
Yeah, because Derek Carr is. I feel like he's a more rounded person than Baker Mayfield. He has that experience.
Baker's one of those guys that if I don't like you, I'm not gonna talk to you. I'm not gonna do anything. At least Derek Carr would be like, hey man, if you want me to throw the ball to you, this is how you're gonna act.
So that's also really funny about Baker Mayfield is like I'm not surprised they didn't get along because one,
they're kind of both the same player.
Baker's on a pedestal, but he's not vocal about it.
I mean, he's
until you're someone like OBJ who is going to be the same way, and then you're going to butt heads.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Baker Mayfield kind of nonchalantly says it like he says it without he's passive aggressive like I am. Exactly.
You're going to have an altercation, and 20 minutes down the road, you're going to go, "Oh my God, that dude was so disrespectful to me."
I saw some videos of Odell just making like TikToks for like stupid videos and like that, and you can see in the background Baker Mayfield just kind of like looking at him like, "What are you doing? That's not what you're supposed to be doing right now."
Yeah, exactly.
So, are the Cardinals still going to be this amazing team without Murray and Hopkins? And I'm going to say to an extent, yes, because I don't think Murray was carrying that offense.
I mean, Murray makes up that offense. If they don't have him, I mean, shoot. If they play
up the offense, if it's not Murray or Hopkins,
Colt McCoy. You think Colt McCoy? Okay, they played
Edmonds?
They played the 49ers. The 49ers are not a good team. No. They are not. So, do I think Colt McCoy is going to lead the Cardinals to the Super Bowl or to the playoffs? Hells no. I think Murray, once he comes back, they will look just how they've been looking in the past. I think they just got to take their time with Murray because, like, this is a Super Bowl team potentially. You've got to take your time with this guy because if you rush him, and then
he's not going to be there.
Exactly, and that's the same with Hopkins. You just got. I know Hopkins has pronounced it. He wants to be on the field every time, even if his leg is decapitated. He wants to be on the field, but he's got to be patient. I mean, they have all the weapons without Hopkins. They got Kirk, they got Edmonds, and they have Connor, who had one of the best performances I've ever seen. He had 40 points in fantasy.
You slightly agree with me?
What do you mean?
As far as they might be okay without
I think that no. I'm saying like if Hopkins if they take their time with Hopkins, I think their weapons will be fine.
This is what I gotta say about it. Like you said, you don't want to rush getting your star players back because you don't want to risk them re-injuring something and they won't be with your. What's wrong with Dak Prescott?
He didn't do good.
So, anywho,
but keep on going.
But it's one of those things. If you are winning with these backups, and you can sit your starters more and more so they can get more rest, that begs the question: do you keep your backups in, thinking you can still win these games?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not get as high as a seeding in the playoffs, but know that you're going to get your starters fully recovered and everything,
If I
knowing
think I
that
could
you
still make it there, I would so do that.
So the
That's what I would do, yeah.
Cardinals have the Panthers, the Seahawks, and the Bears coming up.
Those are 3 great games for your backups.
Exactly, and then but then they have to play the Rams. That's when I think Kyler Murray needs to start getting back into the offense. I think you work him in with Seattle, and then you start going. You go with him with the Bears, and you start rolling with him with the Rams.
Even if they have limited minutes with the Seahawks and Bears,
exactly,
at least just get them back into the system.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Like if you go into the second half up by 3 scores, put your backups back in.
Exactly.
That's what I would do.
I'm not going to talk about the Chiefs and Packers. We know what happened in that game. We beat that horse dead twice in our live stream.
Yeah, that was
if
fun.
If you want our opinions on that, to watch the last 10 minutes of our live stream.
Yeah, okay, but
I don't have any mid-year predictions because everything's pretty freaking solid across the line.
I kind of want to talk about the Chiefs Packers.
I talk about y'all beat a Packers team without Aaron Rodgers.
See, I thought I'd come on the podcast and talk my crap and lay it on you guys, but I can't talk.
But this podcast is run by Packers fans.
I know.
We'll let you
I got 2 things to take out of that Packers Chiefs game.
Mm-hmm.
The Packers are kind of like, okay, what are we supposed to do if and when Aaron Rodgers does leave?
Mm-hmm.
Because what I saw with Jordan Love and that Packers offense, I did not like.
It was terrible.
And I had high hopes for Jordan Love. I wish I didn't because I wouldn't be as disappointed. But that was awful.
So the
thing with the Chiefs, y'all were playing
mediocre,
over average, mediocre defense, and only scored 13 points when y'all were supposed to be this all time best offense team.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you guys, but this is my question. Was Jordan Love the problem, or was Matt LaFleur the problem?
No, I don't think Matt LaFleur was the problem because
the plays were right. The plays were right.
He just wasn't making the plays.
There was a lack of execution between Love and honestly, the O-line wasn't giving him as much time as I would have wanted.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, and
then Aaron Rodgers can deal with
pressure.
Aaron Rodgers outside the pocket is when he's his most lethal.
Mm-hmm.
So O-line just blocking has been okay, but holding that line has never been the Packers have never had an amazing O-line to just sit there and hold the defense.
Exactly, and speaking of defense,
Love needed that.
Exactly, and speaking of defense, I mean, we only held Aaron Jones. That Chiefs defense only held Aaron Jones to 53 rushing yards. Why not stick to the run game? Like you guys said at the last podcast, they need to run the ball. And why is he only getting it 12 times for 53 yards?
Yes, but you can't solely win a game on the ground.
But he's a backup quarterback coming in.
It's one of those things. You run. If I was, I'm not putting the blame on Matt LaFleur, but even though he said he did take the blame,
he should not. That is.
But it's one of those things. You run it on first down. You get 3 yards. Okay, it's 2nd and 7. Now I'm running it again and risk losing some yards, or just get back to the line. Now I'm dealing with a 3rd and 7. Or you can run it twice, get like 4 yards each run, be 3rd and 2nd, and then make it easy on your quarterback just to do a little slant or something easy to get the first down.
And if you want that quarterback to do you anything, you got to get him moving. So calling rush plays every single time is going to get him moving.
Do you feel like those plays were meant for Aaron Rodgers, or do you feel like those plays were meant for Jordan Love?
A lot of that, you could definitely see a difference in the offensive style.
Because whenever Jordan Love passed the ball, it was just not on point at some points. Because he underthrew Adams and he overthrew Adams.
Okay, and this is
for an interception.
Mentally, this was a hard game for him to start at. Because even though the Chiefs have sucked this season,
I think
the Chiefs are still in your head. Chiefs are still a big team.
Okay,
and I think that mentally got to him. This was,
and he was playing at the
Chiefs Stadium, who is not a very hostile place.
And he hasn't played in a big stadium like that in a long time. Even at Utah State, yes, some college stadiums are bigger than some NFL stadiums, but at Utah State, you're not playing in a stadium that packed.
Oh, sure. Like that stadium was packed. But I think last episode, I think I said like this is the perfect game for Jordan Love to start. But now looking back at it, I'm like, dang, our defense shut him out, even though he's a backup quarterback.
He got a passing touchdown.
One. Exactly, one, and that's it.
Because Sorensen was guarded.
Sorensen. I mean, he flew by him like Superman.
To answer your question about the offense, this whole season we've been seeing Aaron Rodgers either hand the ball off or make these 10 to 15, 20-yard passes.
Mm-hmm.
That's his sweet spot.
Mm-hmm.
A majority of Love's passes were either to the line of scrimmage or within 10 yards.
Just little
so they were
passes.
little short passes.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a very extension of the run game's pass style.
Yeah.
Which that's what it takes to get your quarterback up and running that hasn't had any experience is little short passes, but he just wasn't hitting that.
The Packers did exactly what I said they needed to do. It just didn't seem like Jordan Love was making the connections. So every time he got an incomplete pass, it just seemed like his confidence was getting lower and lower.
A.J. Dillon was your second leading receiver. That's insane.
I will say, stepping in for Aaron Rodgers is a big boot to fill.
Oh, yeah. It is.
So,
like
I said, if you want our passionate opinion about it, go to our live stream.
So who's the better draft pick? Clyde Edwards-Helaire or Jordan Love?
I don't even know who the first one is.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire he's starting.
Yeah.
This is why I'm the host, not the brains.
Yeah.
I don't really have any predictions for this season right now because everyone's been beaten by everybody who's been beaten by everybody else.
But yeah, mid-season. The mid-season it's hit. So, playoffs. I think at the end of the day, I think Baltimore will get the 1 seed. I think Tennessee will get the 2. Buffalo will get the 3. The Chargers will get the 4th. And then I think Pittsburgh will get the 5th. And then Bengals will get 6. Chiefs will get 7. Mm-hmm.
I just expect to see the Packers, the Titans, the Saints, the Ravens, the Cardinals,
Rams,
the Rams, and the Bucks.
On the NFC?
See, just those.
Tennessee's Tennessee's on the other side.
So. But those are the teams I expect to see in there. Oh, and the Browns. I expect to see the Browns in the playoffs.
I don't know.
I'm not gonna pick seeding and everything, but the top teams I see right now are definitely the Rams.
I see the Cowboys there too.
Definitely the Rams. Cowboys, if they can turn stuff around. The Ravens, Packers, and the Bucks. The wild one I would throw in there would be with Nathan, the Titans, because, like I said, it just looks like they're the team that everyone's just going to sleep on now. Mm-hmm. Kind of like what the Rams did.
Exactly.
And then they're going to be like, oh, crap, this is a team that we still need to be worried about.
That's what I had on the AFC side. And then NFC is really easy to say. I think the Cardinals will get 1. The Packers will get 2. Tampa will get 3. Dallas will get 4. 5, the Rams. 6, New Orleans. And then, Atlanta looks like they might be the wild card team. But yeah,
let's get it heating up.
Let's get
it. Wrapping up NFL. We're going to our rapid fires. We sucked last week. We don't need to talk about the numbers.
Well, I'm actually going to say them. I'm going to say them live on the network podcast. Caden and not live, but Caden and Trevor both got 8 right. I had 7, and Nathan. What happened? What happened this week? 5, brother.
How many games you played this week?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 games. Jeez, boys. We did bad.
I mean, that's only 6 games wrong.
Well, I got half of them right.
I called the upsets. I didn't get the rest of the upsets.
Oh, yeah.
We have the Ravens and the Dolphins.
Thursday
starting
night.
off on Thursday night.
Ravens.
Ravens. I don't know. Shoot.
I'm taking the Ravens.
Man, that's hard.
Starting off on Sunday, we have the Saints at the Titans.
Ooh.
That's going to be a good game.
I think the Titans.
I'm going Titans.
I'm taking the Titans.
Mm-hmm.
Next, we have the Bills at the Jets.
Bills.
Please, Bills. I need Josh Allen to do better than he did last week.
I'm taking the Jets on this one.
Okay.
That's going to be my weird upset one.
If they win, that'd be insane. It'd help the Chiefs out a lot.
Then we have the Lions and the Steelers.
Steelers. Lions are going 0 a lot.
Next, we have the Jags and the Colts.
I think the Colts.
I'm taking Jags.
You're going to take Jags?
Have fun with that one.
I think they might come back after that. Then we have the Buccaneers and the football team.
Bucks.
Well, Well, how's the football team been? How did they ever talk about this?
2 and
they
6.
suck?
2 and 6.
Ooh, yeah, we're taking the Bucks. Okay, then we have another good game in my opinion. The Browns and the Patriots.
Oh my gosh. This is at Foxborough.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take the Patriots.
After this past week, I'm going to take the Browns. I think Mayfield's going to march his happy ass up in there and just be like, here, bitch. Ain't going to throw it down their throat.
Beep, 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 beep.
That's funny.
Beep.
I think coming off the Browns' big win and the Patriots losing.
No, the Patriots didn't lose.
Did they?
They beat Carolina.
That's right. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, they're both coming off wins. If what he says is right.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, I'm looking at it. I'm sure of it. 24-6 Patriots was last week.
Yeah, I don't know. This is gonna be a hard one.
You have to pick
But
it
the
though.
Panthers have also fallen apart.
Yeah.
That is very true. I'm gonna go with the
At
Browns.
Oh wow.
Only because I see Mac Jones.
I just pulled a Nathan. I was really upset.
The only reason I'm saying this is because I think Mac Jones with that Browns defensive front is going to give him a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I mean, I could see the Browns winning, but I just like Foxborough Patriots better.
I mean, I do too, but I don't see them winning.
I got the Browns in this one. I think it'd be close, but I got Browns.
Okay, so this next one, I'm going to tell you who I'm picking before I say who it is. I'm taking the Falcons. Playing against the Cowboys.
Cowboys.
At the Cowboys. Hey, we thought the same thing last week.
But the Denver actually has a legit defense.
I'm going with Cowboys.
Yeah, I got the Cowboys.
And you're picking the Falcons?
I'm taking the Falcons.
Okay.
Good Lord.
I mean, shoot, they just
I've called weirder calls.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. The Jets.
Seattle at the Packers. Taking the Packers.
Packers.
They're both broken teams, but I think the Seahawks are more broken.
Yeah.
And we should have Aaron Rodgers back next weekend.
Someone hot.
The Eagles and the Broncos. I'm taking the Broncos.
Broncos after
Yeah.
that.
I'll
If
take.
if they can beat the Cowboys, then they're a playoff contender in my opinion.
We'll see, but I'll take the Broncos.
Next we have the Chiefs and the Raiders.
Chiefs.
I'm going Chiefs. I'm hopping on Easton's bandwagon.
Yay! Nathan's gonna go with the Raiders.
They got even rankings. They're even right now.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, the Chiefs are worse because the Raiders had a bye.
Mm-hmm. Nathan, come on the Chiefs
Taking
chain.
the Raiders.
Of course.
I'm going to love it when the Chiefs lose again.
That's the Sunday night game.
I'm not.
That's
No.
the-
That
yeah, it's
is
the
Sunday
Sunday
night. Kelly Clarkson.
You come watch it with us?
Shoot. Oh yeah. Oh well. Shoot. I might as well.
And then last for Monday night, we have the Rams at 49ers.
Rams.
Rams. It's not even a question.
Don't even.
I mean, yeah, I am taking the Rams, but, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Now we're moving into college. Easton typically never talks about anything about college. No, I'm kidding, he does. That's okay. But Cincinnati's back up in the top two.
Where they should.
I don't
be.
know why that matters. Y'all talk about it.
Oh my gosh, it does matter. Are you kidding me?
Time out. Cincinnati, I want to say, has only had one rain. No, never mind. I'm BSing y'all. Never mind.
What? I think Cincinnati should be up there just because they've proven themselves times and times again. And shoot, Cincinnati's just that fun team to watch. And
But I feel like Cincinnati is going to be like that Notre Dame team that goes in and plays Georgia and gets their ass blown out in the first game.
well, shoot. Do I see them as a number 2? No. Do I see them as a top 4? Yes. I could see them as a 3 or 4 in the
This is
college
going to be
football.
my only opinion on this. For many of these rankings to make any sense and to actually mean something, we need more games in the college season that play outside of conference.
Yeah, I could see that. Or like just a 10-team playoff game.
But even then, the rankings still wouldn't matter until then.
I feel like
Because if you're not playing the teams you're ranked against, then how can you tell who's better?
true. We'll see if Cincinnati is this top 4
And
team.
I've always said college rankings are BS because, like I said, if you're not playing each other,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can say, yeah, the SEC is the hardest division out there, so you're going to have more SEC teams in there. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But then to rank anyone else above an SEC team, and they haven't played an SEC team,
Mm-hmm.
How does that make any sense?
The rankings this year, I have to agree, is it's so jacked up. Because, like, Georgia has solidified that one spot.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see what happens with Alabama. But,
did Alabama lose this past weekend?
No. They almost lost.
They almost lost. To
LSU.
Yeah, LSU.
Oh, that's right.
But we'll see, like, when Alabama plays Georgia, we'll see if Georgia and Alabama lie.
Bloodbath.
Oh, yeah.
That or somehow really close.
I think Georgia has solidified their spot in the top 4, hands down.
No, what's going to happen if Alabama beats Georgia?
Nothing. Georgia stays number 1. Alabama will be in the top 4. They will be.
If they beat Georgia, then they deserve the 2 spot.
Oh yeah, hands down. That's what I was about to say. I think.
This is what I wanted to talk about. Oklahoma being number, what are they right now? 4?
Yeah.
Oklahoma only has 1 ranked win this year, and it's against number 21 Texas, and Texas I don't believe is still ranked right now.
Yeah.
How does that put them above the other team?
Ohio State and Oregon. I don't know. I think Ohio State should be in that 4 spot. I think they just look at Oklahoma.
It's between. Well, how do you put Ohio State above Oregon when Oregon beat Ohio State?
Well, no. See, that's where it's confusing.
Yeah.
Because I think it would be. This is so confusing. I wish it was a 10-team playoff game. So
that'd make it a lot easier.
Yeah, make it a lot easier. So Georgia is number 1, hands down. Cincinnati. I mean, I do believe
they also only have 1 ranked win this year, and it's against a mediocre Notre Dame team.
Yeah, shoot, I have no idea how this is gonna work. This is gonna take time. I'm gonna think about this real quick.
I mean, it's definitely gonna be interesting how it plays out.
Mm-hmm. How many weeks we got left?
3.
Yeah, 3 weeks left. Oh wow. I mean, a lot could happen in 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm. I definitely don't see Oklahoma because I'm gonna say Oklahoma plays Baylor here shortly.
Okay.
And Baylor, I will believe, because I think they play at Baylor. And I think Baylor will beat them.
I think Georgia will be number 1. And then I think at number 2 will be Alabama. Then at 3, Ohio State. And then Cincinnati. Why Oregon is not in there is because of the loss against Stanford. And it was an unranked team. And it was an overtime. So I mean, why is it even an overtime game against Stanford? So that's where my top 4 lies. And then I think Oklahoma and Oregon will both play for a bowl game as the 5 and 6. Do I see Cincinnati as a 2 team? No. Am I glad they're back up there? Yes. Because, I mean, shoot, we saw Clemson as a top.
And it's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
I agree with that.
So, yeah, that's my top 4. I see Cincinnati as a 3 or 4 spot. More hanging towards a 4 spot.
I would agree with that.
But if Cincinnati wins their first game in the national championship, or not in the national championship, in their playoff game, if they win that game, I think this will reflect on how we look at them next year. They are that top 4 team.
So, moving the NBA, I think we just got one little small thing to talk about.
Yeah.
Paint the picture, Easton, because I have no idea what happened.
Okay, so Nikola Jokic is I think he's dribbling down the court. He's trying to make a pass. And then after the pass, I think Markieff Morris, that's his brother Marcus, Markieff Morris gave him a little shove that Nikola Jokic didn't like. So Jokic retaliated and pushed Markieff Morris to the ground. His head whipped back. And he fell to the ground, and he's hurt.
Markieff Morris just came out of LeBron James flop school.
I know, but I mean, shoot, but I mean, it did kind of look serious.
You should push someone like that.
Oh yeah. Have Markieff Morris and Marcus Morris been doing this shoving kind of raw style of playing for since they were in college in Kansas? I remember when they'd play Mizzou, and it'd just be them pushing our players around. So I mean, at some point, someone was going to retaliate on him, and it's sad that like this how it happened that way. But I mean, the Morris brothers have been doing this type of crap for years, and it's so weird that
this kind of goes back to we were talking about the NFL, the taunting and everything. Mm-hmm. You show up to work. There's a certain way you're supposed to present yourself when you show up to work, and when you show your ass on the court, you're gonna get penalized for it. Mm-hmm. I mean, they were both ejected from the game after that. I want to say
that's one thing I feel like sometimes the NBA is better at than the NFL. But it doesn't always happen. Mm-hmm. But I hate seeing when two players are getting at it and they penalize the second one.
Mm-hmm. I mean, shoot, that's how life. That's how life is.
Yeah,
honestly,
if you're going to penalize someone, penalize the person who started it, or penalize both of them. Or just don't penalize either of them.
I think the NBA needs to take a closer look at this. Jokic isn't that type of player, that dirty player where he will retaliate. So I think this was weird coming from him.
That was kind of a shock.
Yeah, I was shocked.
Well,
but
if you do the same thing to the same player enough times, they're finally going to get back.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, true, yeah.
I mean, the Morris brothers, they've been doing this for so long. They've been like those tough type of players that will get in your head and stuff like that. So, I mean, it was bound to happen. Am I sad that this happened like this? Yeah. And this is a wake-up call for them. But there's a picture on Instagram that Kate had sent to our group chat that I think is hilarious. It's a bunch of the Heat players, and can you pop this up whenever I'm talking about it? Okay, so here's the image, and it's a bunch of the Heat players wanting to get in the Nuggets locker room. It is so funny. You just see Jimmy Butler just peeking his head in, and all of them get you. Like, what are they gonna do?
Looks like a Will Smith over there.
Oh yeah, it does. What were the Heat going to do in that moment? Like, seriously. I mean, if they let him in, what was going to happen? I mean, I see them as pissed off. I see Kyle Lowry, and I see Bam, and I see Jimmy Butler just staring at their locker room, and it's hilarious. I mean,
it was kind of funny because, like, Markieff goes down and everything, acting like he's hurt and everything, and you just kind of look at the facial expression of Tyler Hero going over there trying to help him.
Oh my god, yeah. What was Tyler Hero gonna do?
What are you doing? You got pushed. Get back up. And he was like, Tyler Hero was like actually trying to help him get him off the floor, and he's like, dude, you're not hurt.
Yeah.
It's just kind of funny to watch Tyler go like, what are you doing?
What are you doing, my guy? But yeah, that's all I gotta say.
But just from like I played AAU basketball for a couple years and everything, and my coach always said, he's like, if you're the person to call something or to retaliate, I'm gonna rip you off the court and you're never gonna see the court again. Because he always had the standard of, we're gonna go out there and we're gonna, even if we're not the best team, we're gonna show what these other basketball teams should act and how they should look like.
And to a point there, that can be used as a weapon itself. Because if you have this team who's being nasty, trying to get up in your face and say all these negative things to you, and you just act like it doesn't faze you at all, it pisses them off even more and can cause them to play sloppy. Especially
if it's a team that comes in and is expected to play that way, and you come in like, okay, I'm not going to let them get in my head, and that's the way, and that's the team's play style, is to try to get in people's head. Once you get past that, they're going to be like, okay, so how do we play this team now since we're not getting in their heads anymore? And they're just going to break apart. And that's what my coach was trying to tell us. If you go in there and play the game the way the game should be played, 9 times out of 10, you're going to win, even if that team is statistically better than y'all.
I think that's a good way to end it. That's a good statement to end on.
I think it's funny. This podcast has been circled around. Don't be an asshole.
Yeah.
Anyway, let us know what you think about these calls. NFL, college, or NBA. Should they be there? Should they stay out of it? Should the calls stay like they are? Should they be adapted? Whatever. What y'all think about the live stream? If you watched the live stream. If you didn't watch the live stream, go back and watch parts of it if you care, and let us know what you think. I don't know if we're going to be doing one this weekend or not. We might. Depends on how timing works out. Anyway, good night.